Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For a second, this video is going to be a review of the last of the Lord of the Rings movies. The Lord of the Rings movies, which is, of course, the 2003 film Lord of the Rings Return of the King, which, of course, is the movie that tied Titanic and Ben-Hur for the most Oscar wins with 11. But also say has the same distinction as Titanic, as it won 11 Academy Awards, but not one for acting. Gee, I wonder why. Well, it's this movie and got all those awards because it's worth the last of the three movies, which were highly praised by movie critics. But the problem is that the movies were overblown. I felt they were overblown, overdramatic, too much in the action scenes that take way too long and take a majority of the movie. And if you have battle scenes that take that long of a film, you are pretty much you don't have a plot. If you waste that much time on the movie for an action scenes, of course. The movie just saw Elijah Wood, Viggo Mortensen, I think Liv Tyler was in this, Orlando Bloom, and Ian McKellen, all in this movie. And let me tell you, this movie is, in terms of Oscar-winning films, this is like one of the worst. I mean, I know everyone gets a flack for this, but for a movie that has 11 Academy Award wins, you have to have a plot. I mean, you just can't have just accuracies. True North is the last one of the three movies, and the one that ends the whole trilogy. But still, these movies didn't do anything for me. I mean, they really didn't. And like I said, it does pick up from the second one, which was the Two Towers. Right after the big battle in the Two Towers, Sauron's armies are still trying to keep destroying the world of man in Middle Earth, trying to control everything, and trying to prevent Frodo from destroying the last ring. And of course, the problem is that they're not attacking the Sauron's armies are not attacking Frodo, they're following him and attacking him, and to prevent him from destroying the ring. The only one who was really preventing Frodo from destroying the ring was Gollum. He was the only one who was really trying to stop Frodo from destroying the one ring that controls and all the other rings. He's the only one. I mean, hello. I mean, if this is someone's ring, how come it's not going after Frodo, but it's going after Viggo Mortensen, destroying, trying to take over all Middle Earth. He's doing all that stuff, but it's not doing what was established in the first movie, was to go after Frodo and to get the ring back. Sauron doesn't do that for the entire three movies, and this is like over 9.5 hours of bullshit. And that's what it is. It's 9.5 hours of bullshit if you watch all three movies straight, and to establish, especially in the first movie, the Sauron is trying to get the One Ring back. He doesn't do it. In the three movies, he does not do it. I'm like, waiting for Sauron's forces to catch up to Frodo, and he doesn't do it. I don't know how accurate the movies are compared to the books. I really don't know, because I never read the books. But to have that plot point and not to follow through on, I mean, it's just so stupid. I mean, it's so dumb. I mean, it's like beyond dumb. Beyond dumb, beyond stupid to establish that plot point and not follow through on it for the other two films. Because Peter Jackson relied on the battle scenes, the battle scene in the Two Towers, battle scenes that were in the third film, in Return of the King, with Viggo Mortensen's character trying to, unite all the tribes of man, even getting help from this ghost army. I mean, watching this is like series. We just watched this movie again last night, so we can do this to do this review. And watching this, I'm like, but by the 2.5 hour mark, I was like brain dead at this point. I mean, like, come on, we just want to see him destroy the damn thing, and that's it. I mean, that could have been taken care of in an hour and a half, not 9.5 hours of crap. I mean that's what the series was. And I watched the series, and I remember at the time how much praise it got when it was released in 2000. The first movie was released in 2001, 2000, and 2002, and Return of the King was released in 2003. 15 years ago. I remember how much praise the series got, and deserves the praise for the technical standpoint. That was a series that Peter Jackson was told that was completely unfilmable. Well, he proved that it was filmable, and with over the top CG, too much CGI, not enough actual people playing the parts, with the armies and stuff, but he had all CGI armies and all this other stuff. And to have all that in there, and so I can see why he won all the technical awards, because he deserved it, and the Academy Awards for those 3 years, but for each one of the 3 films. But beyond that, Strike. Keys the microphone on the pickup. We're having a thunderstorm here in New York at the time of doing this video, so it sounds like somebody's bowling upstairs. So he went Strike. And like I said, Peter Jackson deserves the praise for the technical standpoint for his films. But beyond that, I don't think this movie has done a thing for me. It's wow. It's like one of those trilogies we can just watch once, and that's it. Unless you had to be a huge fan of the Lord of the Rings book series, then you can watch it again and again and again. But for me, as a movie fan, movie buff, and movie critic here, these movies suck. I have to say that they're terrible, they're horrible. They're all colorful characters and they're colorful things going on in there, and it's terrific to look at in terms of from a visual standpoint. But from a storyline standpoint, I mean, it isn't. Like I said earlier, this happens to be one of the worst Oscar-winning movies of all time. I know one gets a fact for this. I know one gets negative comments down there, in the comment section, saying that I'm a nut. They don't know what I'm talking about. But that's the problem with the Oscar-winning movies in the 2000s, from pretty much from 2000 all the way up to today, 2018. There's practically not one Oscar-winning film that stands out and says, "Wow, this is one of the greatest movies of all time." And it's not that way. And it's really, really sad about how depressing and how upsetting some of these movies are. Even though I have a couple of the Oscar-winning films from the century, the Chicago and the King's Speech, but the King's Speech, at least the King's Speech has a story. You can say you can get bored by that movie a little bit, which is understandable, but at least it has a story, it has a plot. Same thing with Chicago. Chicago's enjoyable. It's a musical. It's fun. True, it pokes fun of murder and getting away with murder and stuff, which when Chicago was revised on Broadway back like 20 years ago, that was the big criticism of it. Because when it was revised on Broadway, thank you. Somebody's disagreeing with me up there. The big thing is when Chicago was revised on Broadway, and I'm getting off topic, but a lot of people were complaining about the fact that it was making fun of getting rid of murder, which just came off of the O.J. Simpson trial from 2 years earlier. So people were making fun of it for that. So, but one of the main movies is like overly violent, doesn't really focus on that much on the plot. But Return of the King, and the Return of the King, of course, we all know what happens at the end. Frodo and Sam finally climb up to the top of Mount Doom, and they had this big fight, or Sam had this big fight with Gollum, and Gollum and the ring both fall over the side and into the pit, which Gollum gets burned alive. spoiler for those few of you who have not seen this movie. And the ring goes down with Gollum, and the ring eventually does get destroyed. And it takes, I'm not kidding, it takes about maybe 3 or 4 minutes before you finally see the ring get destroyed in the fire. I mean, it takes a real long time. When Gollum goes down into the pit of Mount Doom, he gets destroyed within 5 seconds. As soon as he hits the within less, I don't have to say less than 6 or 7 seconds, Gollum gets all burned alive in the pit. But for the ring, and they focus on the ring for about maybe 3 seconds to about a minute and a half before the ring finally gets destroyed in the fire. In the fires of Mount Doom. And it took 3.5 hours to get to that, or almost about 3 hours and 20 minutes or so. I have to say about 3 hours and 10 minutes, or 3 hours and 15 minutes before it gets to that moment. And it's like over 3 hours before you actually saw the ring getting destroyed. I mean, it was so long to get there. It's just impossible to sit through all these through these 3 movies to see that one moment that doesn't even that it takes too long for the ring to get destroyed, in my opinion. And then the instant it goes, yay, and everyone should go, yay, finally get destroyed. And then the armies, or someone's armies get destroyed because the ring was destroyed. That it would have been damn cool to see that. But that didn't happen. It gets destroyed and everything goes, everything goes like slows down, and guess what? They won. And I thought it was just, this movie cannot suck enough. I mean, I have to say it. I know I'm not focusing that much on the movie, but I think it's just terrible. The whole Lord of the Rings movie series was gone off of terrible. And of course, the Viggo Mortensen character gets named King, a man, which does happen. And in the end, the film Frodo goes off with Gandalf into the sunset for another adventure. Sam gets the character Sam, played by Sean Astin. He gets married, and then in the end, Frodo goes off with Gandalf out into the sunset and disappears, and that's it. And I mean, that was like the last scene in this movie trilogy, and like, whatever. I mean, that's how it ends. I mean, instead of celebrating the ring got destroyed, it's like doesn't even have any mention of it. That, the ring finally got destroyed. Or Gandalf said, hey, Frodo was successful. We got the ring, destroyed the ring. Nobody asked. The problem is that nobody asked Frodo what happened. Frodo never says anything. I mean, except for Sam knows, but all the other people from the film, he doesn't tell Orlando Bloom's character or Viggo Mortensen's character what happened. And nobody even asked him, hey, Frodo, what happened? You were successful, right? And Frodo doesn't tell me he met with Gollum, and that he had a fight with Gollum for to destroy the ring, and both Gollum and the ring got destroyed at the same time. They both fell over to the edge. They pushed him off the cliff, and they both were destroyed. Gollum was killed in the fires of Mount Doom, and the ring got destroyed as well. He doesn't tell anybody what happened in the thing. I mean, it was so dumb. And the way this thing ended, and I mean, it was the ending that you expect to happen, but the whole thing with Gollum playing mind games with Sam and Sam and Gollum fighting, that type of thing. That was really, I mean, it's totally ridiculous. Totally ridiculous series. I know it was a ridiculous end to this trilogy that got so much praise back in the early 2000s. But to have such a lousy ending, with the big moment when he destroys the ring, and he stands there, he has the ring about to throw in the fire, and he stands there for like, Frodo does, stands there about 5 minutes, and says, Frodo, throw it! And Sam is yelling to Frodo to throw it in the fire, and he stands there like a schmuck, holding the ring there for about 5 minutes. It felt like about 5 minutes, and then Gollum comes out and stops Frodo And even they delay for 5 minutes, he will destroy them already in the end, and it'll be the end of the movie. But no, Peter Jackson's got to stretch the story out as much as humanly possible, and that's what happens. But like I said, at least the movie series is over. I know Peter Jackson did a series with the Hobbits, and that series didn't do as well as the Lord of the Rings, because people that thing got such high praise, and all of a sudden got you know that Peter Jackson's going to go for a downhill for this thing, and unfortunately that's what happened. But with the Hobbits movies, and those movies were just as long, if not longer, than the Lord of the Rings movies were. And so again, and nobody fell for the Hobbits like they did for Lord of the Rings back then. I think now people have different perspective on it, since it's 15 years after the last movie came out. But the movie was just terrible. And like I said, any Oscar-winning film does not have at least one person waiting for an acting award, even the supporting acting awards, should not get the Oscar win. I'm sorry, I feel that way. There's some exceptions like Titanic, because Titanic deserved it, because Titanic was the best movie when it came out in 1997. But it was disappointing that only Kate Winslet and Gloria Stewart were nominated, and they both played the same character, young Rose and old Rose. But the reason why nobody for the acting awards for Lord of the Rings, because it was such so over the top acting. Viggo Mortensen was the only one who was like dead serious in his playing his character. Everybody else was like kind of like, or maybe Orlando Bloom played the elf character. And everybody else was like over the top and stuff. And the elf and the dwarf were the two of them like, oh, I killed 13 guys, 14, I'm up to 20. You cheater! And that's come on. And I know they're trying to put a little humor in the serious stuff, but each one trying to outmatch the other one. So that's over the top silliness, and doesn't do anything for me. So that's my review of The Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. Please click on the video, please rate it, feel free to comment on it, please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video to your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews and all on my YouTube channel at rallyc.com. There's OWDY and C.com. There's a homepage to Rally Reviewer, Christy Moore, and please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.